Welcome to Tranquilly Coding. This is our 9th video of the series of creating a country code picker using Jetpack Compose. So in our previous videos, we have created the country code picker. Mostly all of the basic works and ground works are done. Right now in this video, we're going to polish the whole concept a bit and also make it more simplified when we use. So what do I mean by making it more simplified? Let's go to the components one by one. So behind the scene, I actually organized things a bit. I put them in here in a single class, and also I organized the country code picker a little bit. In the main activity for testing, I added this view here. So now let's go to the component and do one at a time. So first is the country header. Let's toggle the country header preview so we can see what is going on there. So the header has like two parameters, that is select country and on dismiss unit. Select country is the string of the title of this header. There is another header that is for bottom sheet. So it has like this common parameter, that is the title. The second item, let's close this preview. The next item is our country search. So the search view, it has a value that is a string, on value chains that is also a string unit, but those are like the most needed. But there is another, that is the text field, the hint, show clear icon, all of this. This too is internal, so it will work internally. This is needed for the bottom sheet. If you watch the video, you would understand. If you don't watch the video, go back and see that video. So this clear icon and hint, this and the text style, these three are the optional thing here. So we have three parameters over here, and also the country UI. And the country UI, the country UI is a single item that we can see inside our list or inside the dialog or bottom sheet. So for example, this part, this is the country UI. So in the country UI, we have several parameters, that is the country and on countries clicked. So this will be internal, but other optional parameters like the show country flag, country ISO code, country style and padding. So all of these are optional parameters. And lastly, the country view. So this one also has this kind of parameters. The country view is the main view that will show in our UI. So it will be this view. So all of this has a lots of optional parameters, and if we want to combine them in our country code picker, then we already have a long list of parameters, and it will be like 30-40 parameters. So we're going to reduce the parameters and adjust them to a bit where we can manage them properly. So first we're going to add some constant that we'll use all over the places, and we will create some other customization options that will allow us to reduce the parameter but also have the flexibility of customizing all of these things. So first let's create a constant, ccp constant, something like that, and inside that we will create a companion object which will hold all the variables. So here we will define all of the parameters that we are going to use in several places. For example, padding. So we will have a default padding of 10. So right now we can omit this part and use constant dot default padding dot default. So in that way we can reduce this hard-coded part, and this will be our default one. So we can have this constant to control the default design. But what about the customization? Let's create a new file that can be called ccp customization. So inside there, my plan is to create 2-3 data classes that will hold all of the items that we need to customize in several places. So first, let's go down to the dialog and the bottom sheet. These two has similar components. Sheet preview isn't working properly, possibly it's an experimental UI, that's why. But we can work with the country picker dialog. These two are similar, only difference is the header layout. We can work with that. So we can create a customization for this country picker dialog. So we can call it a picker customization. So my plan is to create a data class. So that will be picker customization. So in here we will create a default customization, and also it can be customizable for our pickers and other cases. So for example, this one is for the picker. So let's see what kind of customization the picker actually have. Let's start from the dialog. So for first we have the text style. So country code picker text style and other text styles, for example in the home page, this one. So this text style and inside the dialog text style, they could be different. They can have like different things, or they can be similar. But in Jetpack Compose, things are like more organized than other items. So we can actually omit the text style as like a other parameters. You can pass a single text style and use it all over the places that we need. So text style can be a default one, but we have item padding. So in here we are going to pass the constant default padding, and we can use the item padding from there. And also we're going to adjust this spacer from item padding so that we don't need to hard code everything, and it will be more customizable in all of our places. So now let's get the item padding as our first parameter, optional parameter. Will be integer and default will be constant or default padding. Now come to our second item, that is the background color. So the background color will be matching all over the items. So if you pass the background color, this background color will be applied mostly everywhere, so you don't need to worry about these things. The divider color, this can be one that we can pass with the optional parameter because it doesn't have anything to do with the other UI, that is this UI. So we have added the divider color as a parameter and put color.gray as the default color. So this two is done. Now let's go to the other parameters like the header dialog. So the header dialog has a title string that is select country by default. So we can add this header title select country. Now we have on dismiss unit, that is not needed. This one is not needed as well. So in the search view we have our hint. So let's add that search hint. It will be search country. Then we have show clear icon. We can add that as well. Show search clear icon, and by default it will be true. Then we have our lazy column where we have our divider. We already added the divider color, so we don't need to add anything else. And we have our country UI, which has 3-4 parameters, that is text style, padding, etc. So we already have our item padding here, so we don't need to add that. But others such as country flag, country ISO, country code, we have 3 extra parameters that we are going to pass here to show it properly. So we have passed the flag, ISO and the code. The text style will be automatically sent to this one. Let's put the customization over there. So from there we can use it to replace all of the places that we needed extra variables or extra customizations. So let's start from the configure dialog. So the title, we can go there and change it to picker customization dot header title. It's done. The spacer, we have the item padding. On country search we have the extra parameter, that is hint. So for hint we're going to replace it with the picker customization dot search hint. We have the show clear icon as same. We're going to modify it to the picker customization. Last we have the country UI. Inside there we have optional parameters as country flag, country ISO, country code. We have text style automatically set, so country ISO, country code and country flag, all of these are done. Right now we can turn off the show country ISO by default as false. Then we will have our default customization as we expected. Now there is this divider color that we need to change to picker customization dot divider color. Now we don't need this divider color anymore. The background color is set to the whole dialog, so this one is useful. The list of country also text style as well. So we have managed to add a single parameter that will be useful for all of these cases. Now I need to do the same for the country picker bottom sheet. Let's add it as well. Now we have a more organized UI and more organized, same concept all over these places. So bottom sheet and dialog is done. Now in the main country code picker we are going to modify all of this. So in here we have the show flag, country ISO, name, code, show arrow, all of this together. So let's put them in a single customization. So we need another data class that will be maybe country view customization, and in this data class we can pass all of this, and that will be actually all. Others we don't need to do anything. So this one is done, so we can pass it here, country view customization, picker customization, both of these. Now let's do this first one. And for the country dialog and bottom sheet, I'm going to do a little bit customization than before. So now first let's collapse this so we can see everything that it offers. So first is our modifier. In the modifier I'm going to do some little changes. I'm going to make a rounded shape and do the same for this dialog as well. The second parameter we have, that is dismiss request, it is done. The third one is on item clicked, also done. The fourth one, we have our text style, so let's pass it. Text style is equal to text style, but we don't have a text style field. Let's create a text style and we can pass this text style. Then we have our list of country, we have done that. We have picker customization, let's pass it. And then we have our item padding. We didn't add any default item padding here, so we have our default padding, item padding. And then we have our background color, let's pass it, background color. So it's all set. Let's do the second one. The bottom sheet is done. Now we have our modifier on dismiss request, on item clicked, and let's copy all of this and just paste it. So both dialog and bottom sheet has the same customization right now. Now the country view doesn't have a text style. Let's pass a text style over here, and we can pass the text style with it. Now we can test it and see if it really works. As you can see, our customization that we did default, it's working. This gray color is little bit darker than I expected. Let's see if we can modify it. And this only single constant, I don't think we really need it. We can delete it and change it to 10 in the places that we needed it. Let's see what else, where else we used it. We have it here. You can change it to 10, and all done. Let's go to the customization, and in here let's see if we have light gray. Yes, we have light gray. Now it seems to be working better. So right now the country view text style, let's set it to all of the text styles. So this need to be pasted in all the places. Right now we can see the changes in all the places, and it is not looking bad. Now let's see what we have done in our activity, and let's see if we can modify it a little bit. Let's modify it to and make it country, just view customization and picker customization. I guess I need to rename the some of the things. So picker customization and view customization, first one is done. In here picker customization, good. In here picker customization, all right. Okay. Now in here inside our picker customization, let's see what parameters we have. So there won't be any flag showing. View customization, right now you can see there is a big UI changes. Let's run it and see what we have done. So we have changed the view customization, that is this view, and the picker customization, we turned off the flag. In the bottom sheet or in the dialog there won't be any flag showing. And now we change the show sheet to true, so that we can see a bottom sheet in the first one instead of a dialog, and the second one has the dialog. Okay, yes, so we see our bottom sheet, and if we click on it, yes, it brought up and there is no flag. The second one is a dialog, and it's look almost perfect, I will say. Let's modify it to Bangladesh, and now we see it's creating a little bit problem. Let's adjust it. We have little trick up our sleeve, that is to change the modifier of the bottom sheet to fill max width, and we're going to reduce the height a little bit, so it can be like 90% of the whole list. The default modifier that we have of this bottom sheet, this modifier, we're going to change it and make it as we expected inside there. So in here we're going to add this two parameters with the bottom sheet one. I have pasted in the wrong place. Here So right now we can see the result that we expect. Okay, so if we search for Bangladesh, the dialog stays in place. Right. So as we can see, it is not being anything bad. The UI is working smoothly as we expected it to be. The top one, it is little bit tricky because the size isn't a constant one, but we can actually update it to be like more independent and do a little tweak and see if it works or not. So in our country code picker, this is our country view. If we change the modifier before the country code, this is the country code, and add a spacer, this spacer is going to have a weight of onf, that is like the all the space that is available to this composable. I believe this could work. And add another variable is clip to full, and by default it will be false, a new boolean variable, and we can use it in our advantage. So in the picker, let's see, this is our country view. In the country view we can add another one, that is clip to full. You can make it boolean and the default value is false, and if this happens, this spacer won't show. So if clip to full, then we will add the spacer, otherwise we don't. So now we can pass the click to full, and in our view customization we have the click to full option. So right now in our main activity we can go back and adjust the sizes in all the places that we did before. So country code picker, in this modifier we have the paper modifier. In our activity we added the fill max width, and this one doesn't have the fill max width, but it is somewhat disturbed. Run it and see if it changes anything. Okay, yes. So now the view is fixed, and let's test the other one that we modified just now, and the variable is view customization, click to full, set it to true. So the first one is showing full screen as we expected, and the second one is the size in the text field as the leading icon. So what I done here, let me show you again. So click to full, what it does actually, in the country code picker we have our picker customization and view customization. It is a part of view customization, and we pass a variable called click to full to the country view, and when it is done, then we have a spacer that has a weight of 1f. That means it will take up all the space that is available on the composable of its parent. Like this is inside a column, so if the column has max full height, it will take up max width. So if we set it to true, let's see what happens. So you can see the whole thing. Let's turn on the preview with background, then you can see it clearly. So the clip to full actually extended to the whole size, and this can be useful in cases like the top one. So now we can say it is working quite nicely. So the next part, we are going to implement some other utils class that we can attach with our text field to check if the full number is valid. So we can create a utils for detecting the country. For example, we can use the telephony manager to get the network ISO or the SIM ISO. So in our next video we're going to do that. Then we're going to try to publish it through Jetpack, and if everything works properly on that video, we're going to create a release and test the implementation, and then we will create a documentation, a beautiful readme file for GitHub, and we will close our video series. So this is for today. All of the codes are available on the GitHub, so check it wherever, whenever you need it. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching Tranquilly Coding.